Hello everyone and welcome back once again. This is your civics teacher here, and this time I am here with a brand new chapter of NCERT grade 7, that is Women Change the World. Students, in this chapter you will understand that how some occupations are seen to be more suitable for men in comparison of women. And students, further you will also learn in this chapter that how women struggle for their equality in the society and how getting an education was and still is one way through which women can create new opportunities for themselves. So students, in this chapter we are briefly going to discuss the different types of efforts made by the women's movement to challenge discrimination in more recent years. So let's start. So students, the first topic of this chapter is fewer opportunities and rigid expectations. Students, there are many stereotypes that exist in our today's society, such as that girls and women are not capable of doing with technical things. Students, do you know what is stereotype? Students, stereotype is a mistaken belief or idea many people have about a thing or group that is based upon how they look on the outside, which may be untrue or partly true. And students, stereotyping people is a type of prejudice, because what is on the outside is a small part of who a person is. So students, in our society, people think that men and women are meant to do specific kind of works, and the main reason they did this because they feel that outside the home too women are good at only certain kind of jobs. And students, many people believe in these kind of stereotypes, due to which many girls do not get the same support that boys do to study and to train to become doctors and engineers. Now students, let's discuss and understand that how during the span of time the society changes their stereotypes about women. Students, as you all know that an extremely important part of a child's life is going to school. So slowly and gradually in the 19th century, many new ideas about education and learning emerged, and as a result, schools became more common, and communities that never had been to school now wanted to learn reading and writing and sending their children to school. But students, as compared to boys, there was a lot of opposition to educating girls. And students, as I said, that today it is difficult for us to imagine that school and learning could be seen as not appropriate for some children. But in the past, the skill of reading and writing was known to only a few. But students, during that time in the 19th century, there was a woman named Rasundari Devi who was a housewife from a rich landlord family. Students, this woman, Rasundari Devi, made a remarkable change in this society, and she was the first woman who wrote an autobiography of herself. Students, writing an autobiography by a woman is such a remarkable change in the society that time, because during that time it was believed that if a woman learned to read and write, then she would bring bad luck to her in-laws and more importantly to her husband and become a widow. But students, despite all these misconceptions in the society, Rasundari Devi taught herself how to read and write in secret well even after her marriage. Now students, let's learn and understand what is the condition or what is the truth of schooling and education of today's. Students, as you all know that today both boys and girls attend the school in large numbers, but still there remain differences between the education of boys and girls. And in fact, according to the 1961 census that held every 10 years in India, counts that about 40% of all boys and men were literate and educated as compared to just 15% of all girls and women. And students, in fact, in the more recent census of 2011, these figures have grown to 82% for boys and men, whereas 65% for girls and women. And students, these data shows that the percentage of male group is still higher than the female group. And students, these census that held every 10 years in India not only counts the percentage of girls and men who are educated in the society. In fact, it also gathers detailed information about the people living in India, about their age, schooling, what work they do, and so on. And students, the girls from the SCs and the STs communities, means to say from the scheduled caste and from the scheduled tribe communities, leave school at a rate that is higher than the category of all girls. And students, in fact, the 2011 census also found that Muslim girls are less likely than Dalit and Adivasis girls to complete primary school. And students, do you know why this happened? Students, there are many reasons why children from the Dalit, Adivasis and the Muslim communities leave schools. And these reasons are, as the first one is here, in the rural and in poor areas, there are neither proper schools nor teachers. And that's why the children from the Dalit, Adivasis and the Muslim communities leave school or remain illiterate. The second reason is that in some of these areas, like in the rurals or in the poor areas, the schools are often far away from people's homes, and even there is no transport like buses or vans available for girls. So that's why parents are not willing to send their girls to school that are far away. Students, thirdly, many families are poor and unable to bear the cost of educating of their children. And students, in such a kind of situation, the boys get the preference as compared to girls. And students, not only this, in fact, many children face discrimination from their teachers and their classmates as well. And that's why the children from these communities like Dalits, Adivasis, Muslims leave school. Now students, let's discuss that how women fight for their equality in the society. Students, as you all know that now women and girls have the right to study and go to school. And the situation of women has improved in other spheres as well, like in legal reforms, violence, health, etc. And students, do you know how these changes occurred in the society? Students, this happened because women individually and collectively have struggled to bring about these changes in the society. And that's why this struggle is known as the women's movement. And students, different strategies have been adapted by the women in order to spread awareness, fight discrimination, and seek justice for themselves. And students, in fact, many intellectual men from the society also support the women in their movement as well. Now students, let's discuss some of the ways through which women used to spread awareness in the society. Students, as the first one is through campaigning. Students, campaigns to fight discrimination and violence against women are an important part of the women's movement. And students, many such campaigns have led to the making of new laws in the society. As for an example, in 2006, there was a law that was implemented against the domestic violence. And students, this law states that women who face physical as well as mental violence within their homes will get some legal protection. Students, in the same way, as a result of many campaigns, the Supreme Court formulated guidelines in 1997 in order to protect women against sexual harassment at the workplace and within educational institutions. And nextly, the dowry laws was changed to punish families who seek dowry. Now students, the second way through which women led their movement is raising awareness. Students, the women movements spread messages, or we can say spread awareness among the women in the society through street plays, songs, and as well as through public meetings. So students, these are some of the ways through which women led their women's movement in order to make a remarkable change and in order to get equality in the society. Now students, that's all about your chapter number 5, and with this topic here, your chapter number 5 is completed. Now I will be come back soon with another chapter. Till then, stay home, stay safe and stay healthy.